Hey yo, what's up, y'all? Um, right now, I'm gonna do this quick video and tell y'all why Brandon Rios has a bigger chance than most people are giving him in his fight against Pacquiao. Cause everybody is saying that Pacquiao's just gonna manhandle Rios. It's gonna be a one-sided fight and all of that. I don't think that's gonna happen. And this is why. People talk about the weight. It's like, oh, Pacquiao's naturally bigger. But even then, Pacquiao, he's not a fighter who comes in 10, 15, 20 pounds, you know, over the weight class limit on fight night. He's not like Canelo Alvarez, who, will weigh in at 152, 53, 54, and then come in, 160 something, 170 something pounds. They got Gennady Golovkin fights in 160. He comes in, almost to 180. You got Sergio Martinez who also fight at 160, coming in above 170. You got people like Abner Mares. They're supposed to be fight like his last fight or his fight against Ponce de Leon. They were supposed to be like what 122, 123 or whatever. That's what they weighed in at. The next day they came into the fight in the 130s. Pacquiao isn't a fighter like that. Pacquiao is one of the few fighters who will weigh in and come in close to that same weight the next day. The biggest Pacquiao has been in the ring is 150, and he ain't start hitting 150 till his last two fights. Before that, I think the biggest he'd been in the ring is 148, and that was against Oscar De La Hoya. He actually ended up outweighing De La Hoya in that fight. So that's why I'm saying the weight don't matter, because you look at it, Brandon Rios is 140, and a lot of these dudes are 140. When they step into the ring, they weigh in, close to 147 or even above 147. Some of them is even walking in at 150, 150 something. So that's why the weight isn't that big of an issue as it is, in some of the other fights. Because like I said, Pacquiao is one of those few fighters, and off the top of my head, it's Pacquiao, Juan Manuel Marquez, Floyd Mayweather, and I think maybe Andre Ward. Fighters who don't gain a lot of weight, overnight after the weigh-in. So, ain't too much of a weight advantage there. Another thing, Rios is taller than Pacquiao and has a longer reach. So that's gonna be an issue if Rios takes advantage of it. You also have to question Pacquiao's mindset coming into the ring, because you got his advisor Michael Kantz. He's in the hospital. Pacquiao's attorney is also in the hospital. I think Aaron said if you see the video interview with Ellie Segbeg, Bob Arum was saying that Michael Kantz, I think, had a stroke or a heart attack or something, and that's why he's in the hospital. And then you got the incident with Roach and Team Rios. Roach got kicked in the chest by Alex Ariza. So he's dealing with Roach, possibly being injured or maybe shaken up, not in a stable mindset. So that's something that he got to think about. If his trainer ain't mentally 100%, which could be a possibility, then he might not be giving him the right advice in the ring. Another thing, people are talking about Pacquiao's speed. When has Pacquiao's speed ever been an issue when it comes to how hittable he is? There ain't no time at all when people look at Pacquiao's speed and they're like, oh, oh, he's not going to be touched by this guy because they already know Pacquiao isn't a defensive fighter. He's not a defensive tactician. So he's there to be hit. I mean, Antonio Margarito is super slow, and according to the punch stats, he's able to hit Pacquiao 229 times, 230 times, around there. So I'm just like, Rios, Rios is faster than Margarito. Yeah, it's not like he's, light years faster than him, but he's faster, and he places shots better than Margarito did, you know. So that's not really something that's going to be an issue whenever it comes to speed. Pacquiao's speed has never been an issue for opponents in terms of whether or not you can hit him. Only time it's an issue is if the opponent doesn't really have defense, which is another thing coming into, like, Rios just got outboxed by by uh by Alvarado. I'm like, well, yeah, he got outboxed by Alvarado, but you also have to ask, when the hell have you ever seen Pacquiao box? We already know this ain't gonna be a boxing match. This is two people who's coming in to swing toe to toe. Pacquiao ain't got no technical ability. Pacquiao don't know how to make adjustments. He doesn't have a good defense. He come in there, swinging wild, just as much as Rios does. So, this not something that people should be, even talking about, because, you know, unless if it's going to be a boxing match, if you're going to expect anyone to come in there and box, it's more likely that it's going to be Rios than Pacquiao. The reason I say that is Pacquiao refers to boxing as running. Rios can at least discern between boxing and straight up running. So that means you might have the mental capacity and discipline to, follow through with boxing smart, if that's what, his trainer Garcia, if that's what he's telling them to do. Rios is good at listening to his trainer. Now, considering that Rios does like to get up in there and bang, toe to toe, his trainer might tell him, okay, be smart about, just going in there and swinging wild. Go in there, put together careful combinations. Don't just go in, swing wild, and, pull an American and stay in longer than you need to. Rios is able to listen to his trainer. Now, Pacquiao, on the other hand, his trainer only ever tell him one more thing: step up the pace and throw more punches. Roach don't really tell Pacquiao to do much more than that in any of his fights. So, that's another thing that you got to look at. You also got to look at Pacquiao's been out the ring for a year. So, so I got to ask, when the last time you seen Pacquiao out of the ring for a year? Because I ain't seen him out the ring for a year. It's crazy. It's crazy. I mean, one thing I'll point out here. You look at Floyd Mayweather against Shane Mosley. Floyd had come into that fight not really being hit for almost 3 years. Because you remember his last fight was in 2007. Then he came back in 2009 and fought Juan Manuel Marquez. And Marquez barely touched him. And then, it's the next year, 2010, when he finally fights Mosley. And them gloves they use in training, those gloves might as well be, pillows. It ain't like the gloves they using during the actual fight. So yeah, you're getting hit, but you're not getting this hit as hard as you would, were it an actual fight. On top of that, You got the headgear on and stuff. So, you look at that, almost 3 years of not really getting hit in the head at all. You know, of course, if you get hit in the head real hard, you're gonna feel it. So yeah, it's natural that he got wobbled. But as you see, you know, that didn't happen again for the rest of the fight because Mayweather made an adjustment. And you see now that he's being more active, he's used to getting hit. It's not really a high chance that he's gonna get wobbled like that. So, you can expect the same thing to happen to Pacquiao. On top of that, if Pacquiao isn't expecting a shot, yeah, there's something that's gonna hurt him. And you already know when Pacquiao gets hurt, he wants to come back and swing. He's not the type of boxer who's able to make an adjustment and avoid going down like somebody like Mayweather did. Pacquiao, if he gets hurt, he has more of a chance of ending up like Amir Khan. Because Amir Khan, you see, he gets hurt and he act hella stupid in the ring. He don't cover up, and he don't try to wrap up his opponent and stay up, which is what you hear commentators saying that he should do, which is what you hear other trainers saying he should do. Oh, he should wrap up. He should try to wrap him up, clinch, get himself stabilized. That's what people say you do. That's what people say you're supposed to do in that situation. People who's in boxing, people who's trained, people who have been in the ring and actually fought. That's what they tell you that you're supposed to do. But Pacquiao doesn't do that. He'll come in swinging wild, And if you can even box a little bit, maybe you can avoid some shots and land some of your own. If you can do that and you get Pacquiao hurt, there's a high chance you're gonna knock him down, or maybe put him out. Another issue coming in here. Pacquiao said he got no worries whatsoever. Now I don't know about you, when you've been put to sleep, and this is worse than what Roy Jones got. You seen Roy Jones knocked out. He at least still moving. Pacquiao was not moving at all. He was dead still, except for breathing. Dude was not moving. It was like when Paul Williams got smacked by Sergio Martinez. Paul Williams wasn't moving. His eyes was wide open. He wasn't even blinking. He got it just as bad as Pacquiao did. Knockouts like that is different from knockouts like what Roy Jones got. This is when you was completely gone, like you put to sleep. Like when you lay in your bed at night, you close your eyes and you start snoring. He was put to sleep. He wasn't just knocked down and put down. He was out cold. This dude, he was out unconscious for almost 3 minutes. So that's something that you got to take into consideration. Problem with that is, what happened is Pacquiao had gone so long, without really getting hit with a good shot to the head. When he hasn't been hit with a good shot to the head, by a strong punch in a long time. Marquez, he's been working on improving his strength for over 1 year before that fight happened. Because he brought in the new strength and conditioning coach before he and Pacquiao fought in 2011. And then that was November 2011. He brought the dude in before that. So it's already been a few months. Then you go another year to December in 2012. Yeah, there's going to be improvement. You can't bring in a new strength and conditioning coach, try some new things, and not expect to have any results in 1 year. People are acting like Marquez is, got big and strong overnight. He can't get big and strong overnight. Even if he was taking steroids, you couldn't do nothing like that overnight. My phone going off. Man. But anyways, Pacquiao wasn't expecting those shots. You see, the first shot, Marquez caught him with a feint, and Pacquiao thought he was coming with a low shot, so he had his hands down to protect his body. But Marquez, like me, honestly, I thought Marquez was coming with a hook to the body too. But he ended up bringing it upstairs and caught Pacquiao while he was stepping back and dropped him. You know. Then the second punch, Pacquiao jumped into it, and Marquez timed it perfect. Some people still saying it's luck, but you see a video I uploaded around that time saying Pacquiao isn't washed up, Marquez was just better. You'll see that it was the exact same scenario that he had in his training camp whenever he was sparring. His sparring partner came in the exact same way, and Marquez dropped him with the same shot. Marquez noticed that Pacquiao likes to do that double feint with the right and then come with the left hand while jumping forwards. He seen that, recognized it, and then put him down. You also see in that video that I showed Pacquiao does it multiple times in each fight. And that's what led to him taking that shot that he wasn't prepared for. If he's not prepared for a shot against Rios, we know that Rios is a hard hitter. He almost dropped Mike Alvarado with a jab at one point in that fight. Brandon Rios, he also lands a straight right hand, and he's well at placing uppercuts. And Pacquiao's defense is one where, you'll hit him with straight right hands all day, or almost any right hand for real. He eats that up. And uppercuts is another thing that you can hit Pacquiao with all night. Thing is, he ain't really fought too many people who have used uppercuts, apart from Manuel Marquez, who like to throw that left hook and left uppercut to the body, as a counterpunch. Brandon Rios like to throw that uppercut to the head. So that's another thing. Pacquiao said he had no concerns coming into this fight. So he might get surprised by Rios' power, because it's not like Rios is a feather-fisted dude. Which is another reason I'm saying the weight don't matter, because Rios is coming from 140, but like I said, those dudes blow up overnight, probably weighing 150 or above in the ring. So considering Pacquiao don't gain 15 pounds overnight, there's a good chance he's gonna feel those punches. So this is all the stuff that you got to take into consideration when looking at this fight. Like, this doesn't mean Rios is going to win. It means he got a pretty good chance of winning, and that if he does win by way of knockout, then you can't say or that it was a surprise. If you're actually paying attention, it's not going to be that much of a surprise to you. And now keep in mind, this is a fight that Pacquiao's supposed to win easy. This is a fight where Pacquiao's supposed to look good and not really have any problems at all. Which is why a lot of people is counting Rios out. But in boxing, you can't count nobody out. You gotta look at things objectively. So when the fight happens tomorrow, don't be expecting Pacquiao to have like a walk in the park. It's not gonna be a walk in the park. It's gonna be an intense, blood, sweat, and tears type brawl. And Pacquiao to me, I don't think is gonna just steamroll through Rios. And like I said, if Rios wins by knockout, it shouldn't be a surprise to anybody, unless they just don't pay attention to boxing.